Cox's Bazar is a beachfront city in Bangladesh with picturesque sand and surf. But it's also home to many of the more than 1 million Rohingya Muslim refugees from Rakhine State in neighboring Myanmar. The vast majority fled in 2017 after Myanmar's military junta seized power and cracked down on the Muslim minority. The United Nations later branded the military campaign against the Rohingyas in Rakhine State a textbook example of ethnic cleansing. But since then, a new group of refugees have arrived because of a different kind of threat.
Tens of thousands, all people from the surrounding villages, were escaping the attack. Nobody was looking back. We were running to save our lives.
Saifur Rahman, his wife Jamila, and their children fled the night of May 17th when their town of Budidong came under attack. The perpetrators, they said, were the Arakan Army, or AA, a powerful ethnic group that is now in rebellion against the military junta.
The AA set fire to our house. They were firing randomly and rapidly. I had a brother who got arrested and later was shot dead. I don't know where my parents are now, probably dead. My wife and I whisked our 2 children and ran to the main road to save our lives and never looked back. We went to different villages across the mountains, keeping a low profile, and eventually managed to come here to Bangladesh.
The Arakan Army is said to have taken over large swaths of territory. This includes the town of Budidong, which the AA claimed to have seized in May. The group was accused of singling out members of the Rohingya community, allegations which the AA denies.
By the 16th of May, it appeared that there were no more military left in Budidong town. And then on the 17th of May, quite early in the day, the AA began informing people that they could not stay in Budidong and they needed to leave. And of course, a lot of the Rohingya, particularly with the lessons of 2017, where they know that if you leave a home, you don't return. So they said they didn't want to go because they had nowhere to go to. And then that's when things started to happen.
James Rodehaver, head of the UN Office on Human Rights for Myanmar, told Reuters that, quote, every indication from his organization's interviews with local residents suggested the AA was responsible for the attack on Budidong.
We have not been able to verify these accounts of individuals saying that the AA started the fires. We strongly suspect that is the case. Because, again, they were the only armed actors in the town at the time. The military was not in the town. Of course, we also know that rather than setting up a perimeter and trying to protect the civilian population, they were trying to force the civilian population out of the town, including by firing shots in the air. So if nothing else, the AA was behaving very recklessly and putting civilian lives at risk.
Reuters interviewed 12 Budidong residents over the phone, as well as near refugee camps in Bangladesh, and reviewed satellite imagery of the area taken before and after the fires to reconstruct the events of May 17th. The findings by the UN and Reuters contradict comments made to Reuters by an Arakan Army spokesperson on May 19th, that the burning of Budidong was due to a junta airstrike before the militia took over the town. Regardless of who's to blame for the violence, thousands of Rohingya have been forced to flee for safety toward neighboring Bangladesh since mid-May. Saifur and his family chose to stay in Budidong after surviving the horror in 2017, believing that the worst was over. But he said the recent atrocities were more brutal than the violence he experienced nearly 7 years ago. His wife Jamila agrees.
It was too painful for us to escape our home and come here. We walked 6 days with the small children to save our lives. The Moog forces and the junta forces both tried to kill us. I cannot express how stressful this journey was for us.
It's unclear how much longer Bangladesh will be willing to host the Rohingya, but Jamila is certain about one thing. She does not want to repeat that journey.
The nightmare we experienced and the harrowing journey we had to make to escape that brutality, it is unforgettable. I would rather die than to go through it again.